Is that light good, or you want me to turn it on?
Yeah, turn it out the way. Yeah. Hey everyone, this is Sharon from Self-Care for Black Men, and this is Self-Care for Black Men Highlight. So come join in, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And one of the things I do here at Self-Care for Black Men is I highlight individual groups and organizations regarding services that they have. And some people have services just for men, and sometimes their services may be for everyone, and that is like for men to learn what's out there to take care of themselves. And today we have Rory Lee from Hackers Just Breathe.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Roy Lee, as you just said. Roy Lee Hatcher is my whole name, but most people call me Roy Lee.
Okay.
And I am a lifestyle coach, a wellness coach, a massage therapist, and a personal protection specialist. And I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I help people to learn to essentially be their own bodyguard against all bad things. So, and that basically encompasses learning how to eat healthy, learning and understanding how the body works on a very deep level, learning to meditate, learning to exercise, and also learning to protect yourself.
Okay. And so when it came to all of these things, how did you get into it?
So I started in the early 90s when I was in the military. And when I came home, so I started training in martial arts in the military. When I came home, I continued training as well as getting into studies about self-healing, nutrition, massage therapy, and meditation. And then I went from learning those things to incorporate. So doing it for myself first, right? I was my own crash test dummy, so to speak. And growing up in a situation where I had gangs trying to recruit me, and I myself was in the street, if you will, doing certain things when I was a kid, and so I didn't have the healthiest habits, if you will, and through my practices, my studies, the things that I learned, I was actually able to transcend where I was at and get myself to a better place. And what really the deciding factor in my life, outside of me having children, because kids also helped me become more responsible, but and more, not just more responsible, but want to live and things like that and be healthy. But I was also diagnosed when I went to the hospital because I was having an internal pain, and I didn't know why, and this was in 2006, and I didn't know why or where it was coming from, but I know that it was excruciating. And when I went to the hospital, they did an examination, and they said I was bleeding internally.
Oh, wow.
And that my prostate was swelling. And they didn't know why either, but they said that I needed to have an emergency surgery. And I asked them what was an alternative, just simply because I didn't want to go under the knife, for anything. And they told me that they had a medication called Prostacor at the time. Again, this was 2006, and they said that 5 million or 50 million men were on this medication or whatever. It was a large number. So I asked them the side effects, and they said impotence, and I was like, hell no, So I against the doctor's orders or wishes or whatever, I left the hospital. And I decided I was going to figure this out on my own. But I was in excruciating pain. And through the knowledge that I had acquired, and with the help of a naturopathic doctor, in just a matter of days, I didn't have any pain.
Wow.
And no surgery, no injections, no medications, all natural, fixed.
Wow. And so this came from you changing your diet?
Changing your diet.
The way that you...
Changing your thoughts.
And what you were doing.
Yep, changing your habits. Healthy lifestyle habits. Reversed everything.
Wow.
And allowed me to know realize a health and a wellness that I hadn't ever realized. I actually became stronger than I had ever been. I actually became healthier than I had ever been because I got rid of all that crap that I was putting into my body and thought wise as well, right? So it was a very powerful experience. And once you make a deal with the creator, right, you gotta kind of stay true to the deal. And I made a deal that if you get me out of this, you know what I'm saying, then I'm gonna continue living this way, but I also will help other people. And I mean, that's what I've been doing ever since. So that was since 2006, and this is 2019, so 13 years later.
Okay, and I was just about to ask you, what led you to help other people. So you just said it.
Yeah, I made a deal, and I'm a man of my word. I stick to my deal. So, if the universe helped me out, or God, if that's the word you use, and so.
Okay, and so how has it helped other people? Like, what have you seen, and what have other people say with the services that you provide?
So I've helped countless people out, and I've seen people reverse cancer, stage 4 cancer.
Wow.
At that. My own grandmother was 92, diagnosed with renal failure, and was given a very short time span to live. As a matter of fact, there were people that were very close to us, family members and whatnot, that she's lived 92 years. That's a long time. Why are you pressing the issue or whatever? But when I went to my grandmother and I asked her, I said, "Look, are you ready to go?" And she says no. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not ready to go. If she's not ready to go, then and there's options outside of what we consider to be traditional medicine. There are other options. Then let's explore these other options. So I spearheaded her rejuvenation, if you will. Yeah. And she's seen 2 birthdays since then, and she's on her way to see another one. Yeah. So, the way the body works, and what I've found, and I don't want to go too far off the topic, but what I've found is that there's a saying, you are what you eat. It's a very true statement. And so what you put into your body, and that's not just physical food either, consumption-wise. I mean, your eyes eat stuff, what you watch, what you see. Your ears eat stuff, what you hear. And then your mind itself, what you think. All these things play a pivotal role in the overall wellness of your body. And so my grandma is a living testament. I have other people. But, to take someone who, for lack of a better term, is that weak at 92, like her body was shutting down. And to have them like reverse that and bounce back, that with no drugs, no medication on my part. Allopathic medicine, which is traditional medicine, does have a place. But I also feel like we as individuals have to ultimately take responsibility for ourselves.
This is true.
And so that's for the long answer. That's pretty much the answer.
Yeah, and pretty much with your response, it is very much on target because it's about self-care. Because I know one of the things that I've started doing is when I see things, whether memes or saying or articles, and I'm like, this is self-care, this is self-care, this is self-care. And again, it can be, just like what you said, something that we see. Like sometimes we can have favorite movies or certain sitcoms we like to see, but we have to be very careful. I'm not going to name some of the things on TV, but let's just say some of the things that are common among hip-hop. It may seem all fun and games, but then we're wondering why we're having an attitude about something, and it's that stuff gets into
programming.
Yeah, is part of social programming. It gets into our, as I guess you could say, these subliminal messages that we get, and then we're kind of start thinking, everybody else should function this way. Well, I can't believe they did that, and then we're talking to somebody else, and we're treating this person the way that we saw on TV, and then some people don't even realize it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a subconscious script that you give to yourself, or that's given to you, but you're choosing to take it because you're the one watching it, right? So you it's one of those things where you can't really blame somebody else because you sat down and turned it on.
Yeah.
So, but it's a subconscious program, and all throughout the day, every day, you're hearing the same thoughts over and over and over. You're playing the same video, if you will, over and over in your mind, even without recognizing that you are, because your mind it can do many things simultaneously. Not efficiently, but it can do it simultaneously. It could do it efficiently if you took the time to practice.
Yes.
And get in, but most of us, we don't do that. We're on autopilot all day.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And when you've been watching certain things and listening to certain things, your subconscious mind is driving what you're doing. And as you stated, you will see a person, you'll relate that person to something you saw in a show or watched on a video or heard and whatever, and then you'll behave accordingly to that subconscious programming. And so it'd be much better, what I have found is it's much better to really work to be actively conscious throughout the day. Be consciously aware of your thoughts. And when you go to speak, know what you're going to say. Know what you're saying. Don't just let stuff come out your mouth.
Yeah.
And
in this culture, day and age, everybody has opinions. And the time something comes out, people feel like they have a right to say their opinion as though it's facts. And so
that's a fact. That's a fact.
And the other thing I wanted to point out too, because you were talking about yourself and your grandmother, of how your diet, the way that you're thinking and doing, that we hear those stories, and then a lot of times people think that it can't happen to them. Either they think that it's far-fetched, or they just think, and again, not saying that people, don't need to go to the doctor. I just say in addition to, because it's whatever decision that the person made, but definitely in addition to, because I even had to start asking myself, it's like, am I really doing everything that I can to take care of myself? And when I ask myself that question, there's some, extra things that I can do. And I think that that's really important, that people know that their health, their life is truly in their hand, regardless regardless of what any doctor or anybody tells them, it can be turned around.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You answered the question. Ultimately, we are responsible for our present state, where we're at.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're responsible. I will piggyback what you said. It's good that we live in the most powerful country on the planet, and we have some of the most technologically advanced medicine, surgical procedures on the planet. It's bad if you solely rely on the pharmaceutical or surgical procedures that we do have. That's bad because even pharmacists even know that the medication, and surgeons even know that the surgeries are still in their infancy of being really good for our bodies. They know this, right? So, and I don't want to demonize them because they are doing something. At least they're doing something to help, right? But ultimately, we as individuals should be, and we are responsible for our overall health and wellness.
Yes.
So when you wake up in the morning, stretch. You know, I mean, you don't have to do a 15, 20-minute workout, but at least get up and stretch your body, you know, and breathe while you're doing it. You know?
Movement is important.
Movement is important. Be mindful of your breath throughout the day. You know, people hold their breath on average, and if I'm not mistaken, you can look this up, but it is hours throughout the day that you hold your breath. It's not hours straight. It's just throughout the day. Minute here, 5 minutes there, and you don't even know that you're not breathing. And in doing that, you're stopping vital oxygen that's needed from getting to soft tissues in your body, including your brain, so that they can function. And on top of that, then you'll drink things like soda. And I'm not knocking the soda companies, but I'm telling you that forcing carbon dioxide or carbonated beverage into your system is a hazard to your body, because the body is trying to get rid of the carbon element or carbon dioxide out of itself, and it's trying to get in oxygen. But when you force the carbon into your system, carbon and oxygen can't sit on the blood, if you will, the blood bus, because the blood transports it to the soft tissues. It can't sit on the blood bus at the same time. So when the blood comes to pick up oxygen to take it to your soft tissues, carbon is a bigger molecule. It's like a bully. It's like, get out of there. And it gets on the bus, and the blood cells takes the carbon into your soft tissue. And then your tissue doesn't know what to do with that, because it's trying to get rid of that. So simple things like increasing good water intake, being mindful of your breathing, getting out in the sun, going barefoot onto the ground. Some people call it earthing, some people call it grounding. It's something that our ancestors were doing way back, right? So this isn't like ancient stuff that just makes sense. Yeah. That people should start to practice consistently, and it'll help you stay healthy.
Yeah. And then the thing is, with some of the things, some of us are naturally prone to those things, because I know going barefoot, I mean, literally all my life, first thing I do, take off my shoes. I can remember maybe in middle school, but definitely in high school, always going barefooted, even as an adult. And of course, my parents or other people, oh, you need to put some shoes on, this, that, da, 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 da. but now that I'm being exposed to this, I'm like, oh my, something had been guiding me.
There's a natural intelligence. There's a natural intelligence that the body has that we have to learn how to listen to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I learned so long ago, dealing with the naturopathic doctor who took me under his wings, and he actually started teaching me as a protege. Mm-hmm. And then through my systema training and learning from Vladimir Vasiliev, Mikhail Radko, and others in the systema community, about natural healing, about being aware of self, about staying present in the moment. It's one of those things where we all have the ability to do it. There's no magic pill. There's no magic sort of technique, right? It is a series of things that you need to do and understand, but you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do it, and somebody like myself, I can teach you, but you still ultimately have to do the work.
Yeah.
You still have to do the work. There's nobody can come and say, voila, and it's done for you.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta do the work. So
yeah. And one thing by you saying that, one thing I want to point out to people too, especially when you were talking about breathing, is that, people say, oh, well, I breathe all the time. But like you were saying, that throughout the day, you can go an hour or so or hours without breathing. And just in saying that, these are things in which no one taught us. Because in the way I kind of look at it, society really taught us more to be outside of ourselves. Even as when we were young, stop doing this, do that. And you're in school, oh, you need to share. But what if I didn't want to share? Or what if I wanted to play with it now, but I would share later, but you're making me share now, And so just in saying that, there's just a lot of things that no one never taught us.
Well, so this goes back to my belief that there is I call it a universal consciousness, right? And so what we have to do as a people and as human, what we have to do is we have to unplug from the wire sometimes, right? And we do have to go inside in order to go outside, in order to become consciously aware of the unified field or the universal consciousness. In order for us to feel, to sense this and be able to use it and understand it, we need to understand ourselves on a very deep level, which requires you to spend time with yourself. And a lot of times when you're by yourself, you're fiddling with your phone, you're watching TV, you got the music on. Most people don't like to be by themselves. Most people don't like to sit in quiet by themselves. Most people don't like to do that, and that is, it's a shame, but it's also a crime against yourself.
Wow. I like that, a crime against yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. And unfortunately, our society has set us up for that, and that kind of goes into my next question, in that, like, I'm a self-care advocate, and, when it comes to fight, and freeze, I kind of feel like we're in that majority of the time during the day, throughout our life. And it's on, but no one has taught us how to turn it off.
Absolutely.
So, and we're talking a little bit about it, but what would you say, like some of the practices that you have, what are some of the practices to help turn it off? Because again, going inside, that is so important, because if we don't turn it off, this is one of the reasons that we have inflammation, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of this sickness. I mean, even sometimes when it comes to different levels of depression, different levels of anxiety, it's like, no, we're no longer going against, tigers and bears, but now
some of us.
Well, it's just
in life, right?
Yeah, it comes up in different forms.
Uh-huh.
It's just that it comes up as a boss who's on your back, or even in relationships. And I'm not going to even say it doesn't have to be an unhealthy relationship, but it can just be
just the stress of being in a relationship.
Yeah,
certain stuff happens in a relationship, and it can be a stressful situation. Absolutely.
So how do we turn that off? That fighting.
So it's a simple answer, but it's not simple to do.
Okay.
Right. It's a simple answer, and so we have to be more consciously aware of ourself. And what that means is when you're in your car, when you're driving, and you're going through rush hour traffic, right? And at the moment the traffic was moving, then all of a sudden it comes to a dead stop. As soon as your mind kicks in and says, this I can't stand. As soon as that starts to come, not after it's already hit you and your blood is already bubbling.
Yeah.
It's still not too late. You can come up out of it, but you kind of missed that golden opportunity to just shut it down. You have to be aware of yourself so much that when it first starts, you say, "Hey, wait a minute, no. We this is all right. Okay, traffic, no problem. This will be time that I'm gonna meditate, or this will be time that I'm gonna, now I can get on my social media on my phone, or this will be time." Right, even, and I'm not advocating doing anything on your phone while you're driving, but if it's at a dead stop, why are you stressed? Like, go ahead and take this time to do something else, something productive. And the same thing with anything else that you are dealing with. A bill comes in the mail, your boyfriend or girlfriend cheats on you, whatever. It could be something, that you think is really bad. You lose a loved one, something terrible. You still, because it's just a chemical reaction. Fight or flight is a chemical reaction.
It is.
It is a chemical reaction. Cortisol, adrenaline, it is a chemical reaction. All of our emotions are chemical reactions. They're chemical reactions. So what we need to do is we need to learn how to turn on the chemistry that we want and turn off the chemistry that we don't. If your thoughts can, and this has been proven, scientifically proven, your thoughts can cause dis-ease. Your thoughts can harm you. Your thoughts can hurt your body. But if that's the case, then can't your thoughts heal you? Can't your thoughts help you? Can't your thoughts make you feel better? Absolutely.
That's powerful.
I mean, I myself am proof, right? I lived it, but it is absolutely truth. It's a fact. And so I challenge people to counter their negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Now, positive thoughts alone won't change things, and that's also been proven. You have got to believe on a very deep level of what you're saying. And so, real quick, I'll give like a little sample of what people could do. If you can take yourself mentally to a place of happiness, let's just say, if you have a picture of somebody, if you're a parent and you have baby pictures of your kids, your kids could be getting on your daggum nerves right now while they, in their teens or whatever. But if you go back and you pull out that baby picture and you look at them, it's going to warm your heart. It's going to make you feel a certain kind of way. You can be like, oh, And that feeling is chemical. That's a chemical response. So if you can take that chemical response and then synthesize, meaning you can recreate it yourself without having a picture now. You know what that feeling feels like. You know what it took to get that feeling was that picture. So now you don't need the picture. You can use the picture until you don't need it anymore, though. You take that feeling, that chemical feeling, and then you attach it to your heart center. You you breathe and you start to focus here on the heart. You take that chemical feeling of happiness, joy, whatever that picture brings to you, and you attach it here. Mentally, you attach it here. And then you hold on to it for the rest of the day. No matter what comes to you, it'll be like a shield. Starting off, it's going to be a little shield because you haven't practiced it.
Yeah.
But the more you practice it, the bigger that shield will become. And the more you'll stay in the positive, the more you'll stay in the higher frequencies. So we can go real deep, because even the chemicals technically are frequencies, right? We can go way deep into it. But just as a small practice, and you watch and see how things will change. The more positive you stay, really feeling positive, not just positive thinking.
Yeah.
Feeling, that chemical feeling is required. You feel that positivity, that joy, that happiness, that appreciation, gratitude, if you will. If you can feel that throughout the day, then when you're in traffic, it's not going to affect you, right? Because you'll feel immediately when that joy, that happiness is trying to be infringed upon by that negative chemical and you're like, no. And in doing that, and making it a natural phenomenon, something that you do consistently, you will start to rewrite your script. You will start to rewrite your life. You will start to bring abundance and happiness and joy and money and good people into your life, and you will repel negative. It'll stay away from you. And these are facts.
Yeah.
This isn't like some hokey pokey kind of thing.
True.
These are facts. And this is new science. This is quantum science, quantum physics, quantum science has proven beneath the cellular level, when you go beyond cells, smaller than cells, smaller than atomic, smaller, so energetic, that we are the architects of our own lives, of our health, of our wealth, of our happiness, of everything. Believe it or not. And if you take the time to invest in yourself, instead of being out here chasing the money or being so focused on what you can see with your eyes, and you start going inside yourself and investing that time there, what you want, the things that you need, they'll come.
Yeah, this is true.
Yes, very true. So,
and when you were saying that, pretty much at least two people came to mind: Les Brown and Lisa Nichols.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, they came to mind. Yeah. So pretty much, if people kind of need examples, of course you too as well. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a little guy out here doing what I do. Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, those are. They up here like this, you know what I'm saying? And, you could do research on guys like Dr. Joe Dispenza. I like him. Bruce Lipton. He's a doctor as well. Bruce Lipton. Greg Braden. These guys are at the pinnacle, the forefront of bringing the study of like epigenetics to the forefront. As a matter of fact, Dr. Bruce Lipton in the 60s was pretty much ousted by his peers as being a bit of a quack, because he was talking about epigenetics and what epigenetics means is, so genetics, the way that we're taught in school, grade school, so K through 12, you're taught that the genes pretty much dictate your life, pretty much. Epi is above. and what Dr. Bruce Lipton proved way back, and which is now the foundation for the study of epigenetics moving forward, is that beneath the genes, or above the genes, you can look at it like this, but beneath the genes, there is a frequency, if you will, a code or a script. And so the genes are not predetermined. Well, the genes themselves, they are what they are, but they're like a blank sort of blueprint.
Okay.
And they can be influenced by their environment. And so an environment, this room that we're in is an environment. But our bodies, our minds, the way we think, that's an environment also. The food that we put into our system, that's an environment as well. So our genes are influenced by all environments. And what we can do to control, to help shape our health, our wealth, our happiness, is mentally taking control of how we process and how we deal with the things that come into us, right? So your belief system, if you're easily upset or aggravated by things, you also shouldn't be the type of person that just believes everything.
Oh yeah.
Right. So having some ability to question stuff and research and learn for yourself is big. Exercising, getting out into the atmosphere, getting good sunlight. Sometimes doing away with the amenities of air conditioning and heat and things like that, and just feeling nature, and unplugging from that wire. All are environmental ways that we can control what happens to us on a physical and emotional level, right? And then surrounding yourself with good people, or surrounding yourself with no people. Just depending on, because if there are no good people around you, then you just get by yourself.
Yeah.
But if you have good people that you can circle up with, then get in the midst of those good people. And yeah, I mean, we can go really deep with the answer, but ultimately it goes all the way back to we are ultimately responsible for everything that comes to us, and we can absolutely control it, but not in a way of saying, okay, I want $1 million tomorrow, and then it's just there. I mean, you could be that powerful if you, but you have to practice, right? But more so on money is a frequency. And there's a lot of people traveling around the country teaching these workshops and things like that on money and how to become, how to have abundance of wealth and things like that. Money is a frequency, and so you do need to be able to resonate that frequency in order for it to come to you. But health is a frequency also. So is being in bad relationships and having bad things come to you in your life. All of these things are frequencies, and we can pull them or repel them based on how we position ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everything you said is definitely so true. Now, when it comes to some people, like when you mentioned massage or martial arts and breath work or meditation, some people are hesitant or skeptical. What would you say to those individuals?
Try it. What else you got to do? I have family members that are not very much into what I do, and not a negative, not throwing shade, just their life. They've gone throughout their life and they haven't really seen a need for it. But you don't really know you need something until you've actually had it and then lost it. Then you say, damn, I needed that. So if you've never tried it, then you don't know you need it.
Yeah.
So you can't say you don't need it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so to the people who never tried what it is that I'm talking about, I say try it. I say try it. Come try a class. Come try a class. See what you think. See how you feel. I've trained hundreds of people. Hundreds of people are not wrong when they say that it has helped them in their life. I mean, everybody from special forces, active and inactive duty, military personnel, law enforcement, school teachers, businessmen and businesswomen, bankers, attorneys, judges, stay-at-home moms, children, people with autism. I've trained pregnant women. I've trained and helped and have performed service on numerous of people from many walks of life, and haven't had anybody say anything negative. Everybody loves it. It's helped everyone in some form, shape, or fashion.
Yeah.
So I say try it.
Yeah. And what I will also tell people too, because I've come to the realization, because I can probably remember like before I came into these practices, some of these practices, where I was in my life, I would probably say, oh, well, I'm good. I wouldn't need that. But the question I will ask people to truly ask yourself, are you at your fullest potential?
Yes.
Are you? Because like for me, I like my job. I love what I was doing. But then if I was to really say, am I at my fullest potential or where I am? Because you can be
Most
happy.
of us aren't.
Yeah, you can be happy what you're doing and like what you're doing, but are you at your fullest potential? And then when you're, as you said earlier, getting to know yourself, sitting still and all of that, then you discover things about yourself, your gifts, and even some things that you may need a little repair as well. And then once we repair some of those things, then we're truly at our fullest potential, and we have those, some people call them downloads, and of how to get that $1 million. Again, like you said, it may not come overnight, but at the same time, it can put you in touch with the right people, have you come up with ideas, because again, you got to put in the work, you got to become the person, because you can get $1 million and it can be gone tomorrow, because if you haven't come to your truest self, then you wouldn't know, how to handle that anyway.
I give you, so there's this is a simple sort of blueprint or technique, or I guess technique is not a bad word, to reach whatever it is you want to reach in the future. And so what you have to do is you need to have a very open, honest conversation with yourself. Sit down, be quiet, get away from everybody else, go inside, and if you want to be, let's just say, a millionaire, because people can resonate and they can understand how that will change their life if they had that, right? But if you've never seen wealth, then it is going to be a little more challenging. So in order to do this, first you need to, if that's where you want to be, first you need to see what wealth looks like. See what wealth will afford you. What will it allow you to do that you're not already able to do? You need to see those things. And then when you're sitting with yourself, you go inside and you see yourself in that position with those things. That's a frequency that you're going to start to create, right? Because in the future, there are many different possibilities for your life. Many countless possibilities for your life. And the one that you pull to yourself is going to be the one that your frequency resonates. It's like a magnet. It's a magnet here, and then it's a magnet in the future. And if you can resonate that frequency here, you can pull yourself to that future. And so, very simple technique is to spend time, and you got to do it daily. It has to become a consistent practice. And you spend time with yourself, understanding where it is you want to be and what that looks like. What that feels like. And you associate that thing I told you earlier with taking the picture and seeing the joy. Well, you need to be able to take that picture and see it inside yourself and make that energy resonate here and now so it can pull you to that future or pull that future to you, however you want to say it. Because every day is now. Every day is now and the past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet, but you can pull yourself through day to day to day to day to day to day to achieve that future. Does that make sense? And so that's a simple technique.
Yeah, and again with that, that's something that people don't talk about a whole lot, and we really haven't been taught. So it may sound kind of foreign for some people.
Oh, absolutely, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. Anything that you want is that being consistent and persistent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to hustling and grinding, I kind of feel like this is one of those things, especially in our society, it is worn like it's encouraged and it's worn like a badge of honor, and especially among men. But at the same time, this hustling and grinding is literally killing. Killing men, and especially black men. We're killing people and men, and especially black men. And again, earlier we talked about stress and things like that. And so what will you say to men about hustling and grinding, and how these practices can help them achieve what they want to achieve without all of this hustling and grinding?
So that's a fairly easy question to answer from my perspective, because we are the architects of our life and our death.
That's powerful.
So if you're hustling and grinding, but you're not taking the time to recharge or rejuvenate, then you're asking for breakdown. Yeah, it's not society. It's not your baby mama, because we're talking about men. So it's not issues external. It is how you yourself are taking care of this. Because this is resilient.
Very much. Very much.
And if treated correctly, this thing can take you through war, through hell on earth, and back. And have no breaks, blemishes, or scratches on it, if done correctly. If done semi-correctly, you can go through the same thing, and you might have some bumps and bruises and scrapes and breaks. But if you don't take care of it, you're not going to make it through. There's no coming back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you get out there and you grind and you hustle and you work for your kids to have what you work for, because you're not going to be here to enjoy it, period. So to the men, I say, you have to find the time. You got to make the time to take care of yourself. To all my truck drivers that's out there getting it, when you pull over in that rest stop, take the time to do you some breathing exercises. Get your butt out that truck and breathe and move your body. Breathe. I don't care what everybody else thinking.
Exactly.
The beauty would be if everybody in the truck was out and was moving around and moving their body and breathing and feeling the energy from the earth, because then if they could feel it, then they could feel each other. And then all that energy would heal everybody that's out there. So I mean, that's that's a utopia, but and maybe one day it'll happen. But ultimately, at the end of the day, to the men, I say, you get this one body, and like you said, are you living at your full capacity? Are you at your best? And if you can honestly say yes to that, then I don't have anything to tell you, and I don't have anything to teach you, because you're doing it. But if you have any doubt, then my suggestion is start to incorporate some of the things, or all the things if you can, that we've just said today. Because they will carry you through. I mean, I'm living proof, and I've helped hundreds of people already. So, one day it'll be thousands. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And they may be even millions. We'll see.
So, any last words you'd like to tell anybody? Tell our audience out there.
Last words. My famous last words. Be mindful of your breathing daily, hourly, and by the minute, every second of every day. Be mindful of your breath, in through your nose, out from your mouth. Be very conscious and aware of your posture. And that's very important for the people that are, especially my women. It's very important with this these abductions and this sex trafficking and things like that that's going on. It's very bad. But the guys or the people that are snatching the women are snatching women who are, for lack of a better term, prey. Lions don't hunt tigers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're walking around and your posture is that of like a meager, a bunny rabbit, a mouse, and you're walking amongst lions, you're kind of, you're on your phone, you're not paying attention, your head's in the clouds, you can become a victim very easily. But you keep your posture. You get out, when you pull into the parking lot of a business, your time starts now. It's not after you get out the car and you start walking that you need to get your posture. It's when you pull in, you're like, okay, we're here now, and there's potential predators out here. Let me pay attention. And so you need to pay attention to your posture throughout the day. I won't harp on that too much. That goes into my lady self-defense and my Be Your Own Bodyguard course that I teach. But your posture is very important. So you got your breathing and your posture. And then I say, be mindful of what you put into your body at all times. Be mindful of what you put into your body visually, audibly, and just mentally. Be very mindful of what you put into your body. And then take time for yourself. Spend time with yourself. Get to know who you are. Get to know, and please, whatever you do, don't have that attitude. I know me, I've been in my body for blah, 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 blah. No.
We all thought that. I know I thought that. Till I started reading and watching and learning, like, oh, I didn't know as much as I thought.
And you will surprise yourself. And don't be afraid to let the emotional release happen. I've helped people
that part,
who have had emotional release, and it's like a cleansing
for men and women.
For men and women, you've got stuff built up in you from your parents, from your friends, from society as a whole. Thoughts you've said to yourself, talk bad to yourself, and you didn't even realize. But once you go inside and you spend that time with yourself, you go in there and you start to see all this crap, and you're like, wait a minute. It can be emotionally charging. And it has to come out, and it's going to come out. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it out. And once you do, remember to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna feel clean, and then you can start implementing the other things that I said. So yeah, those are my, if I had any last words, those would be.
Well, those are some really good last words.
Okay.
So how can people reach you?
Well, so I'm in the process of rebranding. So right now the website is called Hatchers Just Breathe, and .com. And so you can go there, and it's got my contact information, email, phone number, all that. I'm also on Facebook, Roy Lee. It looks like me. And I'm on Instagram under Hatchers Just Breathe and Roy Lee. The rebranding is going to come out 2020. We took a house that we use, and we're calling it Hatcher's House of Systema.
Okay.
And in the house, we'll have retreats. We will be teaching massage, self-massage, and partner massage. So it can be couples or just friends or whatever. We also will be offering massage services, as well as martial arts through Systema. So martial arts, self-defense, and fitness, one-on-one and group lessons, and nutritional coaching.
Okay.
And so Hatcher's House of Systema is going to be somewhat of a full-service space, a studio where people can come and learn what I'm talking about. We'll also have meditation practices and things like that. So it's going to be really good. 2020 is going to be really good.
Well, good. That sounds wonderful.
So,
Okay.